Yes, hail Rastafari. Greetings, Reggae Nation all around the world, and greetings, all Afrobeats people around the world. You know, this is a response to Buju Banton, and well, we are grown people, and we're mature people, right? And we're dealing with something that's very serious. Whether it's Afrobeats or whether it's reggae, it's our community, right? So we suffered colonialism, slavery, all these things together. Some of us have played part in selling our own brothers into slavery, and that needs to be taken into account. So looking back at the past, we all know that there's a lot to look at and to deal with each other with respect, you know. So before we go any further on this issue, I'd like to first of all point out that Bob Marley, who is the greatest voice in this, not just reggae, but in the entire music industry. Bob Marley, if Bob Marley said a thing, if Bob Marley made any statement, if he was around here for this social media thing and Bob Marley made a statement, you probably go down and look at all the comments and find that most people agree with him. All people, I would say, would agree with him. Because Bob would boil it down to the essence of what is wisdom. Just like, the Proverbs or the Psalms, And you would find a way to say, look, like you see, man to man is so unjust. Children, you don't know who to trust, Throw me corn, me not call no foul. There's a lot to say, but when Bob had the time with that thing with Danny Sims and those people, and they ask him, well, how did those people treat you? And Bob says, like, well, me don't want to say nothing bad, but then again, me don't have nothing good to say. End of story, right? That's what we call leadership. That's what we call vision. That's what we call looking out for the entire community. See? And that is what we give props to, because we all go through so much in different ways, and that is regardless of whether it is reggae or Afrobeats or whoever. When we have that type of leadership, that type of voice, and that type of perception to look at things and put it forward to the people in such a way that, hey, make up your mind and take sense out of nonsense, and go and do what you have with it and do good, and good will follow you. That's what we call leadership. And that's what we'd say reggae is about. Now I made my point, okay, about the way we feel it should be put forward each time when it has to do with this music, right? Having made my point, now I have a question. And my question is, when you say that Afrobeats don't give props to reggae, is it because of what happened between Burna Boy and Steel Pulse? I think it's important for the eye to answer that question first before we go any further, because then it will clarify that we're dealing with an isolated situation and you're coming to the defense of Steel Pulse. I would only point out that if that's the case, we know for a fact that Burna Boy went to Jamaica and he gave props to Sizzla. So that will not hold water in terms of making that accusation to Afrobeats artists. That's where I'm at. There's a lot more things I have to say, and there's a lot more things we have to do, because our time has come, right? What I like to state before I close, because from here it can go anywhere. It's a community. From we start communicating now, and I show you a word sound, and you say, well, when I deal with this brother, I have to think twice or thrice or 4 times. I'm not a stranger to you. Maybe I look like a stranger to you, but we've met before. I don't know if you remember. I know you remember. When I remind you, you will remember Barcelona. I think it was 2009 or 2008. I was out jogging, early in the morning jogging, and then as I'm doing my jog, one brethren came to me, He had been at your show the night before, and he says that Buju is over there by the Apollo, and he's stressed out because somebody stole his computer off the tour bus. Yeah, I'm the brother who came jogging onto the scene when that whole thing happened, and we know we did what we could to try to find how we could trace the computer, but you know, what could we do? We had no leads, no nothing, and who could we ask? You know, who would care? You know, so I'm very sorry that you lost your computer with all the good music on it, and you know, but I'm that brother. See, and so that just shows you that Jah moves in mystical ways. It's just, I'm just saying it just to let you know that, look, you know. All right, so there's a lot of works, and I'm working for His Majesty, His Imperial Majesty, and there's a lot to tell about that, but I don't feel this is the right thing. I just like for the clarity because, look, we are a community. You know, if this thing came from what happened with Burna Boy and Steel Pulse, then it needs to be nipped in the bud before it becomes this big debate that's going on, and then it's divide and rule all over, which is a great irresponsibility when it comes to, when in fact we're trying to unite people, and you know our unity is like really needed, you know. So in terms of leadership, I'd say now, Bridget, you know, reggae music is the king's music, so we need the representatives of reggae music to behave and talk like kings, you know. Everybody have their weakness and everybody have their weak sides, but it's like when you come into the office and you're dealing with this particular office and you have that type of influence, then it's best to do like Bob did, where Bob knows that it's not really I as Bob would do my thing this way, that way, but when I'm doing this thing, you know, you all need to kind of like, how are they asking me this question, and how will I answer this question so that we keep the protocol of serving the king at the utmost. You understand? Because who does better, who knows better does better. You know. Now, you said, just to answer you, you asked the question, you challenged us and said that find just one Afrobeat song that gives the people the upliftment that even though things are hard, things will get better. Just one, because all we do is sing about women and sex and all of that. And I'm not an Afrobeat artist. I'm a reggae artist, or rock as well, you know. But more than that, I'm a socioeconomic strategist for my people. You know, because that's what we need. We need real solutions to our people, and we can talk about that. Yeah, now I'm saying, you're talking about the long walk to freedom. I'm talking about the long walk from Cape Town to Cairo, which is a real walk. You know, so there's a lot to talk about. You can come and walk with me from Cape to Cairo, from community to community, and do things in the right way, right? So that door is open for the eye, you know. But the point I want to make about the music and uplifting people, I remember very well the first time that I listened to Afrobeats. It was the most uplifting thing. I didn't need the lyrics from anybody to tell me that this music has come to give me the courage, the resolution, and the enjoyment and the joy so I can deal with my immediate situation right here. It's just like when Bob says, forget your troubles and dance. You know, I'm belly full, but we hungry. It was said in words then, but the fulfillment came in the music in itself, right? So that's the one point I want to say, is that I don't know why you're talking about something that can tell us in the future is going to be better. We're not dealing with the future is going to be better. We want now to be good. And Afrobeats makes us feel good now, you know. And wow, isn't it good that we're thinking about women and sex? Like, we were made to live naked in the garden. What else were we supposed to be doing? Made by God. It's God's. God has ordained us to think of women and to think of sex. That's who we are. What's wrong with singing about it? You know, it's like, I don't know what's going on there. That's some funny school of thought, which is like, This is what the Catholics and them came and put on us and create all the confusion and all of that. No, brethren, no. Chill. Chill, because you know that you're into that too. You're into woman and sex and all of that. You understand? It's very important. It's at the forefront. Let's not tell each other lies here. So why shouldn't we? Right? So then my next question is, you didn't bring up the issue of Afrobeats. It was the interviewers who brought it up, right? So you're cool and you're doing your thing. You're doing Buju thing. But yet the thing was brought to the eye. And still, the same question is to the people who brought the question to the eye and to the eye himself. And the question is like this. If Afrobeat was not selling at the level that it's selling, would it even be an interesting argument? So the point is Afrobeat is selling, is shifting. That's why it's interesting to talk about. You understand? Like now I'm talking to you, and in terms of the industry and in terms of popularity, I'm a nobody. You understand? So I'm just counting on the wisdom that I'm speaking to you and everything to matter to the eye. So it's up to the eye to say, are you going to respond to me like, let me just respond to that brethren. There's nothing I really can win from that brethren, and let me just respond to him still. And we show that, well, we're on the levels. And that's the reason why we're talking about this, that, it's not about giving props, it's about respecting each other as we are. That's the issue I want to know, is it because of the sales? And now, if we establish that it's because of the sales, then the issue is like, okay, so the eye goes further and says, Afrobeats have wanted to work with everybody, but they've not come to the reggae. Brethren, Afrobeats is outselling everybody. Afrobeats don't have to go to nobody. It's people must go to Afrobeats and present themselves and say, look, we want to do this, we want to do that. That's the reality. Am I telling a lie? The eye knows that the eye was in Jamaica for a while and things was not going as things were supposed to go for the eye. Well, I don't know if that's how the eye feel, it's still going, it's Jah-thing still, everything is everything, right? Everything is everything. Man can do anything anywhere, it's Jah, right? But in terms of business and everything is, people are holding the eye up, and the eye is out there now. And we're glad. We're glad that the eye go out there and sell everything out and, and go forth and everything. So, in the meantime, Afrobeat has established itself on a level, on a serious level, financially. And that's where we all want to be. Isn't that where we all want to be? So, rather than for them to give props to this or that, shouldn't we all just celebrate that they are there? Who gives props when they are? It's like, give props, yes. An acceptance speech, yes. Who brought us here? Reggae, I'm sure it's there. A lot of people have given. But we have given props to reggae forever. Our props are there in your bank accounts. We bought your records. We've seen your movies. Our props are there. What more props must we give besides the fact that we listen to reggae 24/7? Appreciate love the props that we give the eye, and don't really look at the people we perceive not to be giving you props, because that's not proper. For props must be proper props for the prop, right? Give thanks and praise. And then finally, it's pop. Afrobeats is pop. Nobody criticizes pop for being pop. King's music does King's music. Pop is pop. See? Give thanks.